and Secure Technical Implementation Guidelines are three security certifications required by the United States Department of Defense. These certifications indicate that technology meets standardized security protocols and cryptographic tools implement their algorithms properly. Linux has been certified to meet all these criteria, a rare and notable achievement. For these reasons, Linux is not only an ideal operating system for development of...
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,485, silver at $17.43, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,297. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, with President Trump's signing of the National Defense Authorization Act on Friday, he created the newest and sixth branch of the military. The first since the last branch, the U.S. Air Force, was formally established in 1947. General John Raymond, the commander of U.S. Space Command and Air Force Space Command, indicated that 16,000 active-duty airmen and civilians currently serving in the Air Force Space Command will be assigned to the just-established Space Force. From there, it will begin to get slowly up and running as its own branch. Without sharing details of the plan, a senior Air Force official said on background, because he was not authorized to speak on the record, there will be 30, 60, and 90-day benchmarks to meet. Where it took 3 years to stand up the Air Force, he said the Space Force hopes to be off and running in 18 months or less. That includes, he added, sending a 4-star officer to represent the service on the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The new command's social media and recruitment efforts were fast up and running. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Prominent human rights activist Tito Magatti was abducted in broad daylight by 5 unknown people in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and is now being detained by police. Activist Post reports that Magatti works as a public affairs officer with the Legal and Human Rights Center. He was abducted on Friday at around 10 o'clock in the morning as he was on his way to purchase a new mobile phone. That's according to a statement by the LHRC. Police denied having any information about Magatti's whereabouts when the LHRC first reported him missing on Friday. Magatti's abduction echoes a chilling trend toward the disappearances of journalists, human rights defenders, and opposition leaders in Tanzania since 2015, when the president, John Magufuli, first took office. The mythical Florida man has gotten a bad rap, with the meme buttressing a stereotypical narrative that gives one pause when looking at news stories from the Sunshine State. But in this case, the Florida man is actually a real-life hero, whose actions represent the giving spirit of the holiday season. The Mind Unleashed reports that when U.S. military veteran Michael Esmond got his utility bill for December, he couldn't help but recall how he had once failed to keep his home warm as he struggled with financial difficulty. Since that time, Esmond has seen his fortunes improve as he became the owner of a successful small business called Gulf Breeze Pools and Spas in the Florida city of Gulf Breeze. With his past misfortunes in mind, Esmond felt like paying it forward as he went to pay off his gas bill for December. Esmond contacted his local utility provider and asked if he could pay off the utility bills for those households that were at risk of having their gas and power disconnected. He eventually paid $4,600 worth of debts for 36 families. Rather than receive warnings that their homes will go dark, families will now receive cards from Esmond. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Officials at PepsiCo announced today the upcoming launch of Mountain Dew Cinnablast after the company's market research team unknowingly fell victim to a malicious focus group that convinced them cinnamon-flavored Mountain Dew was the next big thing.
The people in the focus group, they couldn't get enough of it. And then they said, the more cinnamon, the better. So we are going to put in more cinnamon. We are really excited for people to try this product.
According to PepsiCo's data, all gathered from a single group of ill-intentioned respondents, customers of all ages will love the new soft drink's murky brownish-green color and will soon be lining up to try the carbonated beverage jam-packed with ground cinnamon. Various members of the focus group told reporters they believed the company had made a great decision.
Cinnablast is the best. I mean, I can't wait to tell all of my friends to go buy this thing.
Yeah. The only way they can make it better is if they took a couple of raw eggs, mixed them up in the bottle. People would go nuts.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom. 855-450-3733. That's our toll-free number. You can use other things other than just the phone. We got Discord. Discord is a really cool app. You can use your high-speed internet connection and your quality microphone, and you will sound like you are in the studio with us. The us in studio tonight is myself, Chris.
And Ian.
And, you know, it's just it's an interesting feeling working in retail after all these years. You know, I haven't spent my life in retail.
No, the last 4 years?
4 years solid,
Yep.
and at various points in my life, I've been in retail.
Okay.
Heck,
when was the last time prior to this one?
well, in retail, my parents owned a hardware store.
Okay.
So from age 5 to age 18, I was a store clerk in a hardware store.
Okay, so you got a lot of experience then.
Yeah. Usually trying to create devices out of plumbing parts that one could smoke various substances with. That was most of my experience in hardware. But yeah, it's dealing with the public, and it's interesting that, you know, I'm kind of back in that, and I'm with my next phase of our little adventure. We will be doing more retail, but this was a record year. I mean, way huge year for retail sales, period, according to
Really?
U.S. News & World Report.
Now, does that include online sales?
Record online sales fueled holiday shopping season, analysts show, but overall spending was up. I mean, it was up. Increases, early estimates say about 3% over last season.
So
And
are we looking at the whole year, or are we just looking at this season?
we're looking at the season.
Okay.
And realizing in retail, you know, some huge percentage of most stores, even online stores, are going to do the bulk of their business in the holiday season.
That's why they call it Black Friday, because they get into the black. That's the story, at least.
That is.
They haven't made any money all year.
Exactly. Well, you know, and some businesses may be like that. I never thought that was a real sound business strategy, but
no.
You know, it doesn't mean. What does that mean in terms of Washington?
What
you know,
does what mean?
What
Good retail
happens
sales?
when the traditionally throughout our history, when times are good, government spending tends to go down. When
I don't believe that. How could that be?
Times are good. Well, this is the myth. This is a myth of government spending. Government spending really never
goes up and up and up and up and
down. But the myth is that when times are good, you know, you should be able to spend more, but we're gonna kind of let taxes flow in like they normally would, we'll be getting more money, that whole Laffer curve. You know, it's just going to be good for us.
Right, because that was the old claim, is that if you you lower taxes, then the economy goes up and they bring more tax money in, right? Wasn't that the claim from the Reagan administration?
Yes, and that was the Laffer curve. I can't remember Laffer's first name. Art Laffer.
He spoke at a radio convention. That's the only reason I know that.
Yeah. Well, and
I think it was Art.
And that has always been, you know, he was really good at kind of making it clear. It looks sort of like a bell curve, that when taxes are very high, tax revenues are low. When taxes drop, it goes up. But the thing that Laffer showed was that as you drop taxes too much, you don't get the same bang for your buck. In other words, just throwing another tax credit or dropping income taxes by some amount don't have the effect that you anticipated. And that's why it looks like a bell curve. It peaks in the middle and then it begins to drop off.
Arthur Laffer.
Yeah. So you get diminishing returns when you do that. But I thought this article from Reason Magazine, Reason.com, was pretty interesting. It was entitled, "Was 2019 the Year of Peak Entitlement Mentality?" Looking back at 2019 is incredibly disorienting. The country is horribly divided. In fact, the President of the United States was just impeached along partisan lines. The government is running a $1 trillion annual budget deficit. Doesn't look like that's going to slow down anytime soon. $1 trillion. That used to be a number that would just scare the heck out of Republicans. $1 trillion. No, you can't. You must mean $1 billion.
Now they're defining that as small government, right? Because they're small government.
Exactly. Annual budget deficits, even though the economy is doing well. If the economy is doing well, why do we need to run huge $1 trillion deficits?
Well,
That's
I am
the
not.
question.
I just would like to clarify. You said we, and I'm not doing it. So I don't think you're involved either. I know you did work for the government when you were in the military.
I did.
I don't know if you could still call yourself part of that we.
I say we collectively as my fellow Americans. Because of where I was born, I am a part of the we, apparently. At least they come to we when they want more money.
Well, yeah. Well, no, they don't have to do that. They just print it out. I mean, if they really want more money, they'll just print, they'll inflate the money supply, and then they will debase the value of the currency that's out there.
And
just like Venezuela.
That should be obvious to people, but it isn't.
No, it's not. No.
Not at all. If you thought you could see a country go to war in one country for 20 years and never have a tax increase, never had to increase taxes to pay for 2 decades of war. How was that? How does that happen? Well, it gets done through creative accounting and printing money out of thin air. Still, listening to many politicians and pundits, you'd think the nation is doing terribly and the government isn't spending a dime. That's 2019 in a nutshell. Talking about this separation between reality and what's actually happening. The economy is entering its 11th year of expansion.
Okay.
Footnote, the word bubble comes to mind. Poverty is at an all-time low. So are African American and Hispanic unemployment rates. The 3.5% overall unemployment rate hasn't been that low since 1969.
Wow.
The unemployment rate for women hasn't been this low since 1952. The employment rate for workers aged 25 to 54 is finally back above its pre-Great Recession levels. Wages are on the rise, especially at the bottom of the income distribution. The stock market is on fire. Small businesses in many industries are complaining that they can't find enough workers to fill all the jobs they have.
These are good problems to have, I suppose. I mean, this is supposed to be bad news? I mean, this sounds great.
Not everything is perfect, of course. There is still relative poverty, but that's an immutable fact of life.
Right, relative meaning that you only have one widescreen television instead of 5.
Right, and of the way that we define poverty.
Yeah.
Many economists are concerned that productivity hasn't grown as fast as it could. This matters because productivity growth is an important source of rising living standards. Manufacturing isn't doing great either, thanks to the president's self-destructive trade war. Farmers are hurting badly due to the tariffs, as are many of the companies downstream of the tax. Yet the economy continues to show resilience in spite of this. So what explains these gargantuan budget deficits? During good times, spending on many programs meant to alleviate poverty and economic hardship typically go down, but not so much anymore. Even easier eligibility for programs like food stamps have deviated from the program's original intent. Medicaid and Medicare expansion have guaranteed that the programs will continue growing and adding to the deficits, whether times are good or bad.
Well, that's what bureaucrats want. They want their programs to expand, no matter what the times are, because they want more control, they want more power, they want more bureaucrats underneath them, they want bigger budgets, more bennies.
It seems like at some point, someone in Washington, a real maverick, might question the sense of this. Why are we still continuing to spend like we're in a wartime economy when we're in a great economy? 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Dynovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dynovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's our toll-free number. That's free as in freedom. 855-450-3733. In studio, it's Chris and Ian. And we're talking about the budget. It's kind of depressing to talk about, and how much money is still being taken out of your pocket. Heck, if they can just print it, why tax people? Why not?
Well, I mean,
let's just go full modern monetary theory and just print it.
It would be a lot simpler to do it that way, but there's something that the government goons have for obedience. Like, they really love telling you what to do. They love having you jump through hoops for them.
Yep.
There's just something about them. And you know, I'm not just talking about like the federal government level there. I've seen it as far down as the janitor at the local the local city building here in Keene, New Hampshire. They just, for whatever reason, love to tell people what to do. I don't know what it is.
I don't get it. It takes a different kind of person to embrace that sort of life. I don't like to me, I have to tell somebody what to do. I don't relish it. You know,
you mean like in a job or something like that?
If I'm in a supervisory position, right. I don't like that.
Me neither.
I do it because it's part of the job, and I get that. But I
try to do it as compassionately as I can, you know, if I have to.
Right, but
these people don't have that. They don't have compassion.
No, they have a lust for power. Mm-hmm. And this article is talking about and basically, I think this sums it up quite well. Was 2019 the year of peak entitlement mentality? Because that seems to be where this is coming from.
By the way, I do have the U.S. debt clock up here, since you mentioned it's now $1 trillion deficit per year, is what you said earlier in this story. Yes. $1 trillion per year. So right now the U.S. national debt is over $23 trillion, 23.152421 and counting.
So yeah, just add one to that. $1 trillion every year. Mm-hmm. And
it'll go higher too, right? Like it might be $1 trillion this year, but it might be 1.1 next year.
Exactly.
1.3 or 1.2, whatever.
It did take us somewhere around, 250 years as a country to reach $1 trillion.
I'm also looking here at usdebtclock.org. This thing is full of interesting numbers. They have a number of the U.S. federal debt to GDP ratio.
Okay.
And they show you the percentage. So back in 1960, debt to GDP ratio 52%. So meaning that the total amount of the debt was 52%.
Yeah, just
of
over half
the GDP. That's bad.
Yeah.
It went down apparently in 1980 to 34.7%. In the year 2000, back up to 55%. Now, 106%.
So
that's a real problem.
And that is the total U.S. debt.
Debt to GDP ratio.
So basically, the United States produces some amount of goods and services every year, and those numbers end up in GDP. And GDP's a little screwy because it also includes government spending, which has no right being in GDP levels. But if you use that as sort of a benchmark, what that means is our debt now exceeds how much we produce every year. It's
crazy.
Yeah.
That's not sustainable.
And it's not just printing money. They also like debt. Debt you can create by printing money. The banks will buy your debt. The money when you print money, you're creating debt. Follow me?
And when you say you mean the federal government.
Yes, Ian. I don't mean you.
Yeah. If you print money, they call that counterfeiting, and you go to prison.
Exactly. But
when they do it, it's called inflation.
Yeah, and they are printing money and they are creating new debt. That is our export. That is what the United States produces. We now produce debt, and we have for a long time, but not more than what the entire country produces every single year.
The spending alone, federal spending, so again, not looking at the debt portion, just what they're spending, is up from 1900, it was 3%. In 1950, 16.29%, 2000, 17.39%, now nearly 21%. So nearly 21% of the GDP is just straight up being spent, and then the rest of it's being spent that's not being taxed or whatever. It's just debt. Deficit, rather.
And interest, because we have to pay interest constantly on how much debt do we have?
$23.1 and change trillion.
Okay, now you're getting to the point where we're talking real money. The amount of debt that is accrued on that, and there is nothing produced when interest is paid. It's just servicing your debt. All you're doing is buying the guy off so that he doesn't come and break your legs. You do that. You have to do it every month, every whatever the period of the debt is, or you get your legs broken. In the United States, the way Washington has determined it's good is we'll just keep, they're basically making interest payments only. They're not paying down the principal. They're trying to make their debt payment. That's what we're trying to do, is keep up with the interest payments. And you know what? My son's generation, they'll take care of it. Maybe his grandson or whatever. But at some point, this stuff has to fall apart. And so we're talking about why we are.
But before you go on, they've managed to hold it together for a long time. I mean, the U.S. federal government is one of the longest running governments on the planet, right? Like UK, US, these are two of the biggies.
That's true. But we are in uncharted territory. You can't sit here and go, well, when the United States ran up, 100% versus GDP of debt in the Civil War, well, that never happened. No other country has ever done this before. According to someone I know and I respect, and I call her an amateur economist, but she spent a lot of time on Wall Street, and she gets this stuff. She says that the only thing really propping the whole thing up is if you look at the country as a whole, there is a balance sheet for the United States. And when you look at the total number of assets that are in possession of people who live in the United States and the government and just everything, including this house, this office, including all the land in the West, that balance sheet still shows us as positive. It's when that balance sheet goes negative, that's when she feels we really need to be concerned. And that's an awfully big number, and every country has one. The question is will we be able to hasten getting away from where we're inevitably headed, or will we go the wrong way like we have been doing? 855-450-FREE. What do you think? Is Washington crazy? Is spending out of control? Is there any chance of a Republican stopping it? This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring Simon to the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait on account. Now. Wait a minute.
Whoa!
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me?
Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. 855, 453. That's free, as in there are no free lunches. 855-450-3733. In studio, it's Chris.
And Ian.
And we have been talking about this article from Reason, basically putting forth the idea that we have reached peak entitlement. This is the year of peak entitlement. And what
we haven't really even got to that point yet. We've just been kind of talking about the economy and debt and stuff like that.
Well, it's all tied together.
Mm-hmm.
And when both parties, this article continues, both parties are carelessly spending on a whim. They just passed a spending package of $1.4 trillion alongside of $500 billion in irresponsible tax breaks. And the Democrats are actively trying to restore the state and local tax deduction, or SALT, a handout to rich people in high-tax states. More intriguing is the political discourse. Listening to Democratic presidential candidates, you'd think that Americans are living in abject poverty that can only be remedied by government taking over all student debt, all medical costs, and boosting the incomes of all of politically powerful groups who are already overrepresented in the top income quintile, namely seniors. Listen to Republicans, you'd think that it's never been as hard to be a woman or raising a family in America. In fact, GOPers today called for programs like mandated paid leave, which they assert is an idea, quote, whose time has finally come, unquote, and large increases to the child tax credit. Others condemn the free market system as if it hasn't delivered anything but grief to low-skilled workers.
Can we please just stop calling it a free market system?
They like to do it.
This is Reason?
Right.
They should know better than that. This is Reason magazine?
Yes, and they are...
The Libertarian Standard magazine or whatever?
I look at this as poking fun at them saying this.
Okay.
Absolutely. Nobody thinks it's a free market. The truth is quite different. When the economy is doing well, most people do well, including women and their families. More importantly, it's the same free market economics that Republicans and Democrats today so vociferously condemn that has produced the wealth that everyone takes for granted.
Yes.
And I think that's the part that strikes at entitlement. According to research from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, in order to get the standard of living that ordinary Americans enjoyed in 1975, today we would only have to work 23 weeks out of the year.
So the standard of living's gone up.
Amazingly. To reach the level of standard of living that Americans enjoyed in 1975, today we would only have to work 23 weeks out of the year. To achieve 1950's standard of living now requires a mere 11 weeks of work. People were fairly content back then. In fact, many who complain about the free market have failed to point to those decades as America's golden age. This is an illusion, of course. Most of us make the choice to work more and acquire significantly better life standards. Yet few people realize and appreciate how very much more we have now.
Yeah, that's an important perspective to have. And that's not to say that it's easy today necessarily, but it is good to look back and be able to say, wow, things are really a lot better in a lot of ways.
And things really are. It's just the idea that's what I'm getting at. Mm-hmm. How can you look at today and sit here and go, we absolutely need to do more. The government must do more. $1 trillion, we need to run $2 trillion deficits. For what? What is the point? Is it just to bankrupt us?
It's endless growth of the state. That is what these bureaucrats and politicians want. That's what the bureaucrats desire, is more power, more control, and the politicians want the same thing. So they promise and they give away, and now you've got this guy Andrew Yang promising $1,000 a month to every American, and there's a lot of people that are falling for it.
Oh, yeah. It's insanity.
Because who doesn't want free money? I mean...
Sign me up.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Colleen and I, and my girlfriend and I, we're getting up there in the age, and, hey, could we scrimp by on, $1,000 each a year?
A year?
Sure.
Or a month?
Excuse me, a month.
A month.
$24,000 between us. It wouldn't be an opulent lifestyle, but people are retiring now in Vietnam on $2,000 a month. Couples, that's not that much, and probably still do it here. We're going to go to the phones where we have Dana in Maine. Hold on. Dana, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yes, a good show, guys. I really like your show. I did want to correct you guys on something, not just you guys, but I hear people all the time talking about the government printing of money.
Yeah.
When what's really going on there is that the Treasury Department issues government bonds, promises to pay money in the future for money now.
Yep.
And what happens a lot of times is private commercial banks get these bonds for nothing. In other words, your money creation is done in private commercial banks through loans and through government or through bank purchases of treasury bonds and through the fractional reserve deposit creation scheme. So the idea that the government creates money, that's spreading false information. Your money system is controlled through regulatory capture. The banks have used regulatory capture to completely rig the creation and issuance of money in their favor, and we taxpayers are forced to pay taxes, in essence, to these commercial banks who are getting these bonds for nothing and who are getting the money that they use to loan to us for nothing.
Correct.
It's a stinking scheme. It's never talked about. There's never been an honest discussion about this stinking rotten money system.
Oh, actually, we talk about the Federal Reserve and the scam of fractional reserve banking, and we've talked about it quite a bit on this program. And we
tend to dumb it down.
Well, yeah,
and I do think
I'm
not the brightest guy.
No.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you guys. Can I ask you guys a question, an honest question? And I don't mean to do this to you, but
you just did. But you can ask another one. Go ahead.
No, I'll ask another one. How would you answer if some wide-eyed little kid came up to you and asked you the question, who creates our money and how do they do it?
I would say it depends. What would you say? Because the Federal Reserve handles the actual dollar issuances, as I understand it, but the U.S. Mint, I believe, handles the coinage.
Well, I would characterize it as, well, they don't really create money; they create debt.
Yeah, that's a good point. Debt notes.
Well, I mean,
Federal Reserve note.
Okay, but that debt is the only thing that we can use to pay our property taxes with. By the way,
yes.
That's not very well understood. If you ask people why is it that the money that we use has any value at all, or what characteristic does our money have which breathes value in it to it? Why does our money have value? It's
called the legal tender laws, which essentially force people to use the Federal Reserve note for certain things.
It's the only thing we can for taxes. It's the only thing you can pay your taxes with. You can't use Bitcoin.
Unless you're in Utah, I think Utah passed a Gold and Silver Legal Tender Act in 2011.
And if Wyoming hasn't yet, they're going to.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah, at face value. Like you can take the gold coin that you spent $2,000 on maybe, and they'll count it for $50 face value for your tax payment.
Are you sure about that?
I'm fairly sure. About that. And I don't think that's only in one state, by the way.
Yeah,
that you can do that.
It's going to
there's
change
no other
when
state
it goes
you
to
can
the
even do
feds.
that. And by the way, you can use Bitcoin. I was reading that there's a jurisdiction in, I believe, in Ohio that allows you to use Bitcoin to pay certain kinds of
a business tax,
property tax, business tax.
Yep. We heard about that and we talked about it. Good call, man. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir.
855-450 free. We're talking about money. We're talking about debt, and we want to hear from you. This is Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
How would you like to hit the range tomorrow with a brand new gun? Because the United States Concealed Carry Association wants to give you a free gun right now. That's right, completely free. The USCCA is here to give every responsibly armed American the education, training, legal, and financial protection they need. And today, they're giving you not one, but 4 free chances to win $1,000. Simply text GCN to 87222 to get entered now, and you'll get 4 free chances to win $1,000 for any gun you want. Text GCN to 87222 and get entered today. But remember, these free guns won't be around forever, and you can't win if you don't enter. So don't miss out. Just text GCN to 87222 and get your 4 free chances to win now. That's GCN to 87222.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom. 855-450-3733. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy and sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. That's local.bitcoin.com. In studio, it's Chris.
And Ian.
And we have been talking money. Well, we've been talking about entitlement because, again, to summarize, the economy is doing pretty well. We just talked about a record year in retail, record Christmas season. I mean, that was a big deal. Every segment of the economy is doing pretty well except for manufacturing. Thank you for the Trump trade war on that. Farmers are still hurting. Thank you, Trump tariffs. But overall, it's growing and it's doing well. But it's like we have to throw more and more and more money at regular people because they just can't make it in today's society. There's just not enough to go around. The have-nots are hurting, and the haves, they're lighting cigarettes or cigars off of $100 bills. I guess that's what's going on. But when you look at the actual data, one would think that it would be going the other direction, that more people should need less help, that we should be able to roll back some of these programs.
But then bureaucrats would lose their jobs.
Exactly. How many people are involved in just food stamps? I
don't know. Lots.
Is there the amount of bureaucracy, and that's the Department of Agriculture that I think manages that one. But why are we hearing that we need to do more for everyone? And it's not just poor people. I don't want to pick on that. I'm approaching the age when I'm going to be offered Medicaid, and it's going to be free handouts for people that have worked all their lives and put together a little nest egg, but they're going to be offered all the free stuff too. We're going to go to Justin in Colorado. Justin, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I can.
Yeah, so we still have people who are starving in our streets, and
no, they're not.
I just want to, yeah, we do, and I want to bring up.
Oh, come on, where
the fact I want to bring up the fact that we give quite a bit of money in aid to a certain particular country that has not been a very good ally to us.
First, let's talk about who's starving in the streets. I'd like to know, where is the starvation in the streets in the United States? You're not talking about Venezuela, right?
No, I'm not talking about Venezuela. I'm just talking about generally all over the place.
Okay, I don't see it. I see a bunch of fat people.
Trump hasn't done the greatest job for our economy, but we give how many billions of dollars a year in foreign aid to a specific country in the Middle East, and they haven't very much been
well, the U.S. federal government gives billions of dollars to a bunch of countries all around the world, and I think it's a waste of money.
Well, there's one in particular.
Saudi Arabia?
No, I know what he's getting at.
There's one in particular.
The Nazis have been calling in over the last 2 days, so I'm going to guess it's Israel, right?
Oi, Zay!
Yeah,
the claim is catching on!
Thanks
for your call.
So lame. So boring. Look, I don't support foreign aid to Israel any more than I support foreign aid to any other country.
I don't support foreign aid to Canada.
Right.
And if you're against Canada, I mean, that's a pretty low bar. The idea that our country must pay for the defense of other countries, it makes no sense.
Yeah. And I do understand, and I think some of the critique is correct, that Israel does seem to get a lion's share of attention compared to some of the other countries around the world, and that has to do with this whole Zionism thing, and people are obsessed with whatever religious belief says that the world's going to end and they have to hasten the end of the world, or some sort of nonsense story.
Yeah, and we're also, traditionally the bulk of people in the United States, I believe, are still Christian.
Okay.
That is the Holy Land. So it certainly holds a special place in the hearts for a lot of Americans who...
Great. They should donate their own money to it directly rather than forcing everyone to support some sort of political regime that is, murdering people.
And if you want to support Israel, or you want to support Israel's defense or whatever... First of all, go there and join the military. They will gladly
Will they let you
take
do that?
you.
Really?
I think everybody does over there. But the idea of you sending your money to Washington, who will then
take a cut,
and then send it over to quote unquote Israel, unquote,
meaning the government in Israel, not the people.
And it's like any time you interject a middleman in any transaction. Israel's government is acting as the middleman. Our government is acting as a middleman. If you want to help people out, find them. We got this new thing. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called the Internet, where you can actually meet people from other countries.
Yep. I give to North Korean refugee assistance.
Nice. And
I've never been there, but I don't need to.
Right. But that's the nice thing. And I've donated to all kinds of causes. I mean, a lot of them that I've found through this show. But, orphanages in Africa, I mean, I would have never come across. That's a great cause. Supporting building schools. I mean, what a great thing.
If you can do it directly, because if you give it through government aid, then it goes to the African warlord, government goons who then use it to buy BMWs with armor plating and things like that.
Yeah. And if you feel that you are a good and moral person, you shouldn't support people that are going to support warlords. You should, in my opinion, you should help people that really need it. And folks, that is not the government. That's not Israel's government.
Look, I have never seen someone starving in the streets of the United States. To go back to the beginning to that person's call, which he could not actually cite any real examples of it because it's a crock of crap.
Right.
The people in the United States are mostly overweight, from what I can tell. They're very well fed.
Right.
And they've got plenty of money to go spend at fast food restaurants.
Absolutely.
So the amount of waste, the amount of food that's wasted in this country is shocking. If you're hungry in the United States, that's different than being starving. I'm not saying there aren't some people out there that are skipping a meal because of whatever their economic circumstances happen to be. But, unless your parents have you locked in a cage and are actually trying to starve you, there's no starvation in the United States.
Agreed. We're going to go to Texas where we've got Steve on the line. Steve, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
NSM88.org, join the Nationals.
What?
I don't know.
Nationalist something or other. If they're not saying the F word, I don't think they should necessarily be cut off.
Well, he was yelling.
But it is pretty tacky.
Yeah, it was yelling in my ear.
Yeah.
We've got Matt in Ohio. Matt, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hey, how's it going tonight?
What's on your mind,
Good.
Matt?
Hey, I just wanted to talk about, I heard you guys were talking about the Federal Reserve there.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, the Federal Reserve is pretty much ran by a certain ethnic tribe.
Okay.
I'm going to go out on a limb. Can I take a guess?
Well, it's not a guess.
Please.
Proven
No.
fact.
Let me.
Why are you beating around the bush anyway? Why don't you just say what you mean?
I'm not beating around the bush.
Well, which ethnic tribe are you talking about?
The one over there in Israel.
See, this is the beating around the bush that I'm talking about. Why don't you just say Jewish people?
Right. Why don't you just show yourself?
I'll let you say it. I'll let you say it. I mean,
well, I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know what all of the employees of the Federal Reserve are. How do you know?
Because I looked it up.
Really?
I'm not making this stuff up.
How did you look up what the religious or ethnic diversity or origins of the Federal Reserve employees are? Or are you just talking about like the board of directors?
Or are you just talking about
board of directors, the founder, everybody? Look on the dollar bills, man.
So here's the thing. I don't care about what the ethnic makeup is of the Federal Reserve, because what the Federal Reserve does, regardless of who's running it, is evil and it's wrong.
Oh, okay.
Would the Federal Reserve be good, sir? Excuse me. Would the Federal Reserve be a good thing if it were run by all Christians?
I don't think there would be a Federal Reserve. It would be,
pal.
based on a gold standard.
Matt, thanks for your call.
Got news for you. Most of these politicians in Washington, D.C. would probably define themselves as Christians.
It is true, and many of them define themselves as members of all sorts of races, creeds, and colors. That's okay. Except for the jobs they do. This is 855-453. This is Free Talk Live.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% fine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Experience the balance of nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,485, silver at $17.43, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,297. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, with President Trump's signing of the National Defense Authorization Act on Friday, he created the newest and sixth branch of the military. The first since the last branch, the U.S. Air Force, was formally established in 1947. General John Raymond, the commander of U.S. Space Command and Air Force Space Command, indicated that 16,000 active-duty airmen and civilians currently serving in the Air Force Space Command will be assigned to the just-established Space Force. From there, it will begin to get slowly up and running as its own branch. Without sharing details of the plan, a senior Air Force official said on background, because he was not authorized to speak on the record, there will be 30, 60, and 90-day benchmarks to meet. Where it took 3 years to stand up the Air Force, he said the Space Force hopes to be off and running in 18 months or less. That includes, he added, sending a 4-star officer to represent the service on the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The new command's social media and recruitment efforts were fast up and running. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Prominent human rights activist Tito Magadi was abducted in broad daylight by 5 unknown people in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and is now being detained by police. Activist Post reports that Margadi works as a public affairs officer with the Legal and Human Rights Center. He was abducted on Friday at around 10 o'clock in the morning as he was on his way to purchase a new mobile phone. That's according to a statement by the LHRC. Police denied having any information about Magadi's whereabouts when the LHRC first reported him missing on Friday. Magadi's abduction echoes a chilling trend toward the disappearances of journalists, human rights defenders, and opposition leaders in Tanzania since 2015, when the president, John Magufuli, first took office. The mythical Florida man has gotten a bad rap, with the meme buttressing a stereotypical narrative that gives one pause when looking at news stories from the Sunshine State. But in this case, the Florida man is actually a real-life hero whose actions represent the giving spirit of the holiday season. The Mind Unleashed reports that when U.S. military veteran Michael Esmond got his utility bill for December, he couldn't help but recall how he had once failed to keep his home warm as he struggled with financial difficulty. Since that time, Esmond has seen his fortunes improve as he became the owner of a successful small business called Gulf Breeze Pools and Spas in the Florida city of Gulf Breeze. With his past misfortunes in mind, Esmond felt like paying it forward as he went to pay off his gas bill for December. Esmond contacted his local utility provider and asked if he could pay off the utility bills for those households that were at risk of having their gas and power disconnected. He eventually paid $4,600 worth of debts for 36 families. Rather than receive warnings that their homes will go dark, families will now receive cards from Esmond. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
This is the Onion Week in Review. This week, mothers across the nation invented a new drug to worry about, confirming that the completely fictitious new substance was appearing in schoolyards across the nation and is easily created from simple household products like sugar, window cleaner, and petroleum jelly. Calling the totally made-up narcotic scramp, mothers in desperate need of something to fret over deluded themselves into constantly agonizing over the widespread drug epidemic that exists solely in their minds.
My son sits in his room for hours and hours. It must be scramp. He's a scramp head. I bet they'll figure out how to scramp with this too.
In other news, a man confidently strides through a beaded curtain without parting it. A father takes a picture of his daughter every day from birth until he abandons his family. And the same homeless man is always begging for change on the same United flight. Stalled contract negotiations have prevented me from reviewing any more news until I receive a co-producer credit. But for more, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Thank you for joining us for hour number 2. In studio, it's Chris.
And Ian.
And we have just been having a blast fielding obnoxious phone calls. But first,
that's why we do it.
I want to tell you about Liberty.menu. For years, libertarians of all stripes have wanted a directory of liberty-minded businesses, and we're helping build one, Liberty.menu. Liberty.menu is a tool for our community. At its core is a directory of events, businesses, and digital content, and more. Listings can be rated and reviewed, and there's a bit of a social network so you can connect and share with others. Use of Liberty.menu is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agreed to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Put your voluntarist ideas into action at Liberty.menu and use code FTL to get a special badge. That's Liberty.menu. My. It wasn't really, I didn't think, a controversial evening on Free Talk Live. We talked a lot about how 2019 seems to be the year of peak entitlement. At least the government feels that they're doing the right thing by just coming up with more programs and more government spending than you can shake a stick at. And I assume that they are doing this in response to, well, what do governments ever do things in response to? Gain power. They're doing it in response to what they believe will get them more votes. Mm-hmm. So let's just give away free stuff. It's kind of hard to argue with that thinking because we see both the right and the left doing it. The left are a little bit more open about it, but the Republicans have really ditched any pretense of being a party of smaller government.
Yeah, no, they won't ever propose cutting out these programs. I mean, if you were to talk to your typical Republican and say, well, how about we just let the market take care of, the poor or the sick, or, let charities step in and, help people who actually need to be helped with, volunteers and folks who are contributing on a compassionate, virtuous basis. Why don't we just do that? Oh no, we can't get rid of Social Security. We can't get rid of Medicare.
No, wait, Ian, I'm going to speak to you hypothetically. That's a great idea. All Washington needs to put together is the Department of Charitable Giving, and then you'd probably get support for some idea like that. Now, it would have to be a huge bureaucracy because there's a lot of people who need help, and you would need, tens of thousands of new government bureaucrats to enable something like this. But hey, you might be onto something.
Don't give them any ideas, Chris. That's a terrible idea. That's the last thing we need is a layer of bureaucracy to get in between somebody who wants to help someone and the people who have the time to do it, right? Because a charity is a group of people who have the desire and the drive, the willingness to put themselves out there and help whatever group of people that they have determined they want to assist. And then the charity relies on donations from people who feel like maybe their day is better spent doing something more productive, but then taking some of the money they've earned and donate it to these organizations. Right. And that is, in many cases, a pretty efficient way of doing things, because if the charity doesn't show and prove that it's an efficient organization, then it will lose its donations. So the charity has a natural incentive to perform and to do the things that it says it's going to do at the lowest possible cost, but while also accomplishing the goals, that they're looking to accomplish, because their donors are watching and their donors get to choose whether or not they support them, unlike the government gang, who just takes money by threat of force and violence and then spends it on whatever they want. So sometimes charities get money from governments. Sure. That does happen, but that is not a particularly responsible way of helping these charities out. I don't blame them for going for the money. If you're on a charity board or whatever, and there's, the government of the town, like here in Keene, New Hampshire, where we live, they give the government, some of the government money goes to the taxpayer dollars, goes to the local homeless shelter. Some of it goes to the local food kitchen, and you can't blame those guys, running those things for bellying up to get that money. But at the same time, they would be fine without it. Honestly, they would be just fine.
And they're not out there advocating for a tax increase to get more money for the homeless
Generally,
shelter.
no, they don't.
But it's charity. It's within each one of us. We're the only ones who can do charitable acts. When the government does a quote unquote charitable act on your behalf, then it ceases to become charitable.
It's not charitable because it's not virtuous. You didn't choose to do that thing. If somebody's forcing you into a charitable donation, it's being done for the wrong reasons. It may still help somebody because, the odds are that $10 in the hands of a charity is actually going to help somebody, whereas $10 in the hands of a bureaucrat, eight of the dollars are going to go to the bureaucrats, and then maybe $2 will go to somebody who may or may not be taking advantage of a system. So.
Right. So, in a certain portion of your tax dollars, whether you support abortion or not, it goes to Planned Parenthood.
Mm-hmm. Which doesn't always do abortions, by the way. They do a lot of STD testing and some other very useful services.
I understand that. But should people just, because they do other things, should they be forced to support whatever number of abortions that they do?
No one should be forced to support a charity that they don't agree with.
We're going to go to the phones where we've got Derek in Kansas. Derek, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Wow, that was a really thoughtful and creative call. You guys are really on it tonight.
I know. I want to hear more.
I have to wonder, what is it? How bored, how lame does your life have to be to where, you wake up in the morning and you think about, what can I do today to turn people on to this Jewish conspiracy?
Exactly.
I'll call talk radio and shout into a phone.
Well, and there aren't that many talk radio stations that they would even get that far.
Well, they they could lie to the call screener, they usually do, right? Like they're not the subjects for these calls are not, I want to talk about Jewish people, right? Like that's not what they're telling the call screener. So they can lie their way on the air, and you don't have to lie to get on Free Talk Live. Like
that's what I was going to point out.
Yeah, I don't care what your topic is. You can call and talk about whatever conspiracy or thing that you want to discuss, but just getting on the air and yelling some stereotype or whatever, it's pretty lame. But then again, you don't really have anything intelligent to say, obviously.
So
otherwise you'd say it, and maybe try to persuade somebody to your belief system, which is really paranoid and collectivizing, acting as though all Jewish people are the same or in some way evil. It's pretty ridiculous.
We're going to stay on the phones where we've got Austin in Wisconsin. Austin, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Well, I don't think Trump would have to, cut a lot of the Social Security spending if he didn't give $38, billion to Israel. This would have been prevented if we all just agreed to speak German. We just had to agree to speak German, and none of these problems would have happened.
Why are you yelling? Hello?
I want to get my point across.
Okay.
Hello?
Well, try not yelling because it just distorts your phone and makes you harder to understand. What was your point? I couldn't understand.
If we all just agreed to speak German, we would not have the problems that we're having now. Like, I don't know, cutting money from Social Security to give the
If we disagreed to speak German?
Jews.
Can you explain that to me?
If we just agreed to speak German, we wouldn't have to give all this money to those sneaky, cackling,
Why would
Jews.
speaking German make any difference?
No. Austin, please repeat your sentence, but please repeat it in German. Can you do that for me?
If we all agree to speak German.
Yeah, you keep yelling.
So lame.
It's nice try. We're going to go to Andrew in Colorado, who says people are starving in the streets.
I've never had a Jewish person call me names and, shout at me like this.
I haven't. But you know what? The night's still young. Maybe we'll get the angry Jewish callers to call, and maybe they'll... I have no idea.
Yeah.
855-450-FREE. What's on your mind? Not sure I want to know. This is Free Talk Live.
We'll find out.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's LibertyCon.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com.
Do you wish you could do whatever you wanted in your dating and relationship life, even if you're married? Do you wish you made more money on less hours? I'm Caleb Jones, and I've taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Watch our free on-demand replay training with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom. 855-450-3733. That's our toll-free number. We want you to give us a call and let us know what's on your mind. But first, I use cryptocurrency every week. Here in Keene, New Hampshire, there are so many places that accept cryptocurrency, and I use the Edge wallet. Edge Wallet is iOS and Android compatible. You can buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies. It's user controlled, which means you actually own your money. There's support for Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Stellar. The list keeps growing. It's a veteran team. They've been building since 2014, and they want to help secure your freedom. You can find out more at edge.app. That's edge.app. In studio,
I used mine tonight to buy my dinner and tip the bartendress. Thirsty Owl.
Oh, nice. Nice. Yep. Colleen and I, last time I used Edge Wallet was about 4 or 5 days. I finally got Zoe's Pizza to go.
Oh, yeah.
To go.
All right.
I've had Zoe's Pizza, and this is a place that does take and bake.
That's right.
Not to be confused with Wake and Bake, though I'm sure it would be very good for that, too. But they do amazing pizzas.
They do.
And
you shouldn't rub it in, though. I mean, people, you can't get it unless you're here in Keene. So
I know.
Yeah. And you can pay with crypto. But that's the cool part.
But it's one of those.
We got pizza. We got burgers. We got bars. We got dentists. Our auto repair. It's really nice. I use Edge at all these places.
It's a great deal.
Yeah.
We're going to go to the phones where we've got Andrew in Colorado. Andrew, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hey, so that was a little bit of a misinterpretation about what I called about. So I just heard somebody else saying that they thought that people were starving in our streets. And I just wanted to call. I've been homeless. I traveled for years by choice and was homeless and never went a day hungry on the streets in America. At one point I didn't realize that I didn't want to take government help, didn't realize that I thought they were really just there to help me. And I did take that government help and was on food assistance. Tons of homeless people are. Anybody can get on food assistance get $150 to $200 a month. Plus, not to mention all the soup kitchens and just private,
Yeah, here you can walk
food.
into a private soup kitchen and they will give you a box of food.
Yeah, even without food stamps, you can easily get food bank food and all that and survive. So that's definitely not factual. And I've been to plenty of states in the U.S. where that's true. But so I just wanted to throw in my 2 cents on that.
Thank you.
With these Nazis calling in, it kind of sucks. But I guess when you want freedom, you get freedom for everybody to say what they want, including Nazis.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll give them the credit. They've figured out that they can call into a show and get their opinions out. I mean, we have open phones, but 90% of the time they're wide open.
Yeah.
So it's not hard to get on this show.
Yeah.
Just have to pick up the phone. I mean, you didn't have to wait that long, right?
No, just a couple of phone calls ahead of me. So.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, I
appreciate what you guys are doing.
Thanks, brother.
No
appreciate
worries.
the call.
Thanks for the call, Andrew.
Yeah, there's plenty of food in the United States. He's absolutely right about that. Take it from the homeless guy.
Yeah, there's actually a testimonial. And in my little town, a town of like less than 2,000 people, we've got
there's a food bank there,
food
too.
bank there, and people, they actually have like shopping baskets. You just wander the aisles, you put in what you need.
Wow.
And they'll help bag it up, box it up for you.
And it's privately funded?
Privately funded.
Amazing.
They don't take government
How
money.
about that? People actually help each other. Isn't that amazing? When left to their own devices.
Unbelievable. We're going to stay on the phones where we've got Brett calling from Washington. I'm not sure if this is state or the place we shall not speak of. Brett, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
You know who's really starving is the white people that have to give all their money to those shifty kikes.
Wow, that's really
starving
intelligent.
America.
Name calling. Do you have anything actually intelligent to say?
Well, if you want to hear anything intelligent at all, you would hear it from the Führer himself.
You mean the dead guy? Or is there a new?
He's just dead. Or
is there a
new
Führer?
one?
Oh, we got a new Führer running shit now.
Oh, you can't say that on the radio. We got to get rid of that cat. Did you get him?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want people to hear your terrible ideas, try not to use the S word in the middle of it, and then you'll actually get people to hear your terrible ideas. Because if you use a word that you can't say on the radio, we have to hit the dump button, and that just erases what you said from everything except for our video streams. So all of our radio stations, they didn't get to hear that.
Yeah.
Not that they're missing much.
No, I would say they're missing nothing.
Yeah.
If you have a point, if I would be sort of intrigued if a Nazi called up and actually had some cogent points, like something I could at least.
The only one I've
argue
ever
upon.
heard is Chris Cantwell. I mean,
Yeah, come up with some points, some reasons, and I'll qualify that by saying that aren't infringing on anybody's liberty.
Oh, well, they can't do that.
Well, no, they can't. But that's the point of view that I look for.
Although they could, if they wanted to, they could go and found Naziville or something and have a nice, it wouldn't be nice, but have themselves a gated community of all white Nazi types, and they could have a checkpoint set up there out front of the community with their private Nazi guards, and make sure that they do DNA screenings on all the people coming in, because those white people sometimes have Jewish blood in them, and you want to make sure that you keep those people out. Like me, I've got 10 or 11% according to DNA tests that I did, so I presume I wouldn't be allowed. Not that I would want to go in there in the first place, but I presume that people like me wouldn't be welcome.
I think, if they had their own little camp that they could go and concentrate on their Nazi. Can't say that. I started to say concentration camp. If they had a place where they could just concentrate on their own insanity and
well, they do. They have the internet, and that's where they hang out and talk to one another and insult Jewish people constantly because they don't have anything productive to do, apparently.
Well, I imagine, pre-internet days, Nazis must have been relatively lonely. There are little pockets.
They're still probably pretty lonely.
True, but there were little pockets, and you'd see them, somebody would have a parade and they would get up but it's not like the majority of the United States is Nazi. It's not even a minority worth speaking of. I mean,
they're just vocal. They figured out how to dial a phone number. Congratulations.
Right. It's just.
I can't say that you're very persuasive, guys. I mean, if you want people to come on your side, I mean, presumably that's what you want, right? Like, I mean, is the whole point to just simply insult Jewish people, or is the point to actually recruit thinking individuals to say, you know, those Nazis, they've got a point. I ought to look into this, or whatever.
I was just talking to a Nazi the other day.
And he was really persuasive, and he made me think I should look into, exterminating all this one type of person, or whatever it is that their end game is.
Right.
I don't really know what that is. Presumably, it's to get a certain type of people out of their society, in which case you're going to have to persuade a lot of people to come on board with your ideas, and name-calling and being dumb isn't going to do it.
Just not working for you. 855 450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit divvyproject.org. divvyproject.org.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Jack Daniels announced today its plan to start marketing directly to children, adding, quote, "Why not?" Executives for the whiskey company told reporters that they've already slated dozens of television spots showing 10-year-old children drinking tumblers of Jack and Coke in playgrounds, and that the company was planning on, quote, "just seeing how it all played out."
Every year, Jack Daniels sells millions of dollars of great American whiskey to men and women all over the world. So, for our next ad campaign, we basically just thought, hey, why not just start marketing this stuff straight to 10-year-olds? I mean, if they catch us, they catch us, but we'll see how far it goes, and hopefully we can sell some alcohol along the way. Sure, some parents groups could get upset, especially if we go with our idea of moms serving their kids cranberry Jack at snack time. But
In other news, a doomed rabbit will teach an 8-year-old a lesson about responsibility, and a torrent of soap issues from a wildly unexpected part of the dispenser. Well, that was it. It's all downhill from here, bud. For more, visit theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom, 855-450-3733. That's our toll-free number. You can also hit us up on Discord. Discord is a very cool app. Just load the Discord app. You can find it in your App Store and your Play Store. Use your quality microphone and your high-speed internet connection, and you will sound like you are in the studio with us. The us in studio is Chris.
And Ian.
And I wanted to tell you about the next generation of crypto. It's the next generation wallet, and it's coming from Divi. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, exchange digital money in seconds. Divi says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divi, Bitcoin, and fiat currencies right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divi already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divi network. When the new Divi wallet launches, because of Divi's relationship with Western Union, Divi will be in 200 countries, including the U.S. You can learn more at diviproject.org. That's diviproject.org. I think that last call was, I'm sorry. We've had one actual authentic call tonight.
Only one, yeah.
No,
right.
We had two. We had the
guy from Maine.
The guy from Maine who wanted to talk federal. He wanted to talk economics, and that was cool. And then we had one gentleman who wanted to talk about the reality of being homeless.
Right.
No reason that he saw to ever be without food in the U.S., even if you're homeless. That's from a homeless guy.
Yep.
Plenty of food, plenty of programs he could take advantage of if he chose to. And then we've had, 338 Nazis.
It seems like it.
It seems like it, but it's just one of those.
It may be the same four calling over and over again. I don't know.
Right.
They all sound the same to me.
But yes, a reminder that a certain ethnic group own all the banks and are causing...
Not true.
Of course not.
Yeah, not true.
And are causing all our troubles, all our ills are to blame on this one ethnic group. Not true. I think...
I bet there's a lot of Jewish chefs and janitors out there that would really like to get their piece of all this,
right.
money that supposedly they deserve or whatever.
There's probably some poor janitor, and he's just trying to make ends meet, and his last name happens to be Rothschild. He's got to be. It's got to irk him. I feel you. But it just makes no sense. It makes no sense. And prejudice never makes sense.
No.
The idea that you can lump everybody together. And I'll even go as far as saying, I can't say that all government workers are evil, though I can say the idea of government is evil.
Yeah. There's plenty of government workers who would have a job in the productive economy. Yeah. Like the guys that go around and salt the roads around here, they would have jobs.
Oh, heck yeah.
The guys that are, those fire departments that are paid fire departments, I think that somebody would still pay those people to protect people's homes and businesses and such.
Volunteer fire departments don't do it for free. They do it because they get enough money, they get enough support out of their communities that they don't have to charge. Now, I've lived in towns where they had volunteer fire department, and we had them come to our house one time For the literal cat on the roof, they came out and they rescued our really stupid cat from the roof and brought her down. And we got a really nice note for them. And they said, a lot of people who have really stupid cats that get up on the roof oftentimes will send us, $25 or $50.
Right.
Here's a self-addressed
Did they really?
envelope. Yeah, just if it moves
just a suggestion.
you. Yeah. And that's fine. And we did. And we sent them a couple bucks. I wish they would have taken the cat with them, but they didn't. But the idea that you just don't need government for a lot of things. I'm hard pressed to come up with something you do need government for.
When you say government, you mean an agency with a monopoly over coercive force?
Yes. I question whether we really need an organizational level of government. It's nice that they do things that a lot of people like. It's like, oh, wow, they got out there, it's winter and they plowed the roads. It's like, well, can you imagine that maybe somebody else could do this without somebody taking your money to do it? Would you do it? Would you pay for it anyway? You would.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that we don't really ever get to find out is what are the methods that the marketplace would come up with to pay for some of these things. If tomorrow the government gang as we knew them just disappeared, who would plow the roads, right? Who would build the roads? Well, it would be interesting to figure out, how the market would sort of organize itself. Would it be a charity that, springs forth and takes donations? Would it be a for-profit company that people hire? Because, for instance, if you look at, shopping centers, they pay somebody.
Sure.
Right. So the shopping centers, that's when you got to drive, to go and obviously our southern listeners cannot relate to this. But those of you, in the north, you certainly know that if it's snowy out there, some of the best places to drive are the parking lots because they are well tended to. Those businesses want you there. And so, would some businesses maybe sponsor the roads? Maybe you'd see a billboard for Michelin Tire or something like that. This road brought to you by, taken care of by Toyota or whatever.
Exactly.
So I think there would be different ways that it could organize itself. I don't know.
And there is not. And Ian, you can't. And what I didn't hear you say was, well, I have the plan. I have this 12-step plan for how to implement all this stuff in a free society.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because there isn't one. That's the point.
There's going to be different things that'll be tried, and then the best ideas will hopefully rise to the top.
Sure. But the point is that government prevents people from trying.
That's right.
They prevent people from, they flat out deny, they make it illegal for people to come up with a better mousetrap. And that's what frustrates me.
Well, it makes them look bad. I mean, it reminds me of the stories where government gang people will actually kidnap their competitors, meaning if somebody goes out and tries to fix a pothole.
Yeah.
Or they notice that a crosswalk on the street is too worn off, so they paint a new crosswalk on the street. There have been stories where these guys get arrested for that stuff.
Is that insane?
There was a guy, an old guy, who I don't remember where it was, but I remember the story. There was a park, and the park had a hill or some sort of an incline that was coming down, and it was kind of a steep incline. So an old guy, with the construction know-how, got some wood and hammer and nails or whatever, and he went out there and he built some steps.
It was in Canada. I remember this story.
But they weren't to code, and he didn't ask permission first, so therefore they sent in a construction or destruction crew to destroy that man's effort because, well, we wouldn't want somebody to use these stairs and get hurt, when the point of the stairs in the first place was to avoid people getting hurt coming down the hill, to give them stairs to go down instead of trying to get their footing and walk down the hill.
And we've talked a lot about charity. There was a case in Florida of the older gentleman who was providing meals. He was an anti-war activist.
Mm-hmm. This was the Food Not Bombs on the beach?
Yeah. Food Not Bombs. That guy was
90 years old or 85 or something like that. It's a preacher.
And they arrested him how many times for the crime of giving people food?
Wasn't just him. They did it in Orlando. You're talking about the case in, I believe it was Fort Myers or one of the forts, Fort Lauderdale. But then there was also Orlando Food Not Bombs that went out into a park week after week after week, and their volunteers kept getting arrested. They bring in a new batch every time. That way they didn't keep getting arrested and keep, racking up the charges on one or two people. They kept bringing in new volunteers, but it was just absolutely outrageous.
Unbelievable. We're going to talk about, when we come back, we're going to talk about something else that happened in South Florida. That's that companies are being sued by the state of Massachusetts because evidently Massachusetts ran out of people to sue. This is Free Talk Live.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits, at MyPatriotSupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at MyPatriotSupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Introducing Reveal from GCNLife.com. Beverly Hills dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman invented Reveal, which contains polypeptides with natural botanicals and no parabens, sulfates, silicones, or dyes for a salon-quality hair growth product. Reveal. Here's Dr. Newman.
I have treated a lot of patients who lose their hair and they lose their confidence. We've created a unique set of polypeptides, which we call HPT6. The HPT6 contains the polypeptides from 6 different plants. The scalp infusion treatment should be used on wet or dry scalp. The Reveal hair care system is designed to be used for men and women alike.
Get Reveal at GCNLife.com with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So try Reveal today at GCNLife.com or 844-443-6637. Plus a discount up to 25% off for Reveal at GCNLife.com or 844-443-6637.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the Bigot no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Live video of our Keene, New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-FREE. 3733. That's our toll-free number. That's the number you call to get on the radio. But first, I wanted to thank Mike Spike. Mike Spike is a silver amplifier of the show. What is an amplifier? He is somebody, and he's a silver level, so he's pledged to send us $5 a month to help advertise, market, and promote Free Talk Live. That basically means get us on more radio stations. The more radio stations we're on, the more people are going to hear the ideals of liberty. And I think it's a great way to, part with some of your scarce dollars. I know everybody is not independently wealthy, but if you can spend $5 a month to promote the ideas of liberty, it's a good thing. You can find out more at amp.freetalklive.com. In studio, it's Chris.
And Ian.
And we have, we've been talking about all sorts of things. We were talking about charitable giving and, of course, the government throwing people in jail for trying to help their fellow man. The government likes to do that.
They're going to be throwing people in jail in Massachusetts soon for having vape products without a permission slip.
Oh, my gosh. So Massachusetts has enacted pretty much the toughest laws in the country regarding vaping. And
so far.
We've talked about it, so far. We have talked about it on this show, the fact that the law that passed and was signed by the small government Republican governor of Massachusetts.
I don't think those exist in Massachusetts.
I don't think they exist, period. I think they're just a myth. As basically signed a law that if you are driving in your car and you are found to have a flavored vape on you, like I always do, because it's going to save my life. I quit smoking after 35 years thanks to flavored vapes. If I'm caught driving in Massachusetts and I don't have the necessary receipts to show and demonstrate that I paid taxes to the state of Massachusetts for the vape juice that's in my vape device, or I can't prove that my vape device was paid for and taxes paid, then they can seize my car.
That's right.
Better yet, if I happen to be flying into an airport, they can seize my airplane. They can seize my boat. Unbelievable.
There's also a theory that they can seize your home as well. Anything that contains the container of the illegal vape product.
Interesting.
So if it contains you and the vape product, so that could be, they specifically mention cars, boats, and planes, but it says included but not limited to.
Right.
So your hovercraft or space shuttle or your home or your RV or any of those things. And if I recall the language, it doesn't say they may. I don't think it says they shall either, but basically they're going to take your stuff.
Interesting.
It's bad news. It's not interesting. It's horrifying is what it is, because there's going to be all kinds of people who are going to fall subject to this that, of course, had no idea about what the law was. They didn't know. They might have heard a rumor that vapes were being banned or whatever, but they didn't know. They didn't know what the potential consequences could be for this.
Of course not.
There's also another question about what will happen to people who aren't Massachusetts residents. Does this only apply to people who have what they call residency, which is a legal term, based in Massachusetts, or if you're visiting from, you're coming in for Christmas dinner or something like that, and you get spotted on the streets by some cop and he sees you with a vape and you obviously didn't buy it in Massachusetts.
Right.
You didn't know. You came in from, Oregon or something like that. Are you going to have your car stolen from you if you drove out? Are you going to have all your stuff taken from you? We've yet to actually see how this is going to be placed into effect and how wide-cutting the targeting is going to be on this.
The only time I will actually volunteer my vape and give it up and say that, yeah, I actually do have one will be as my plane lands, probably United Airlines. I want them to seize a United Airlines jet.
Yeah.
Because if I have vaped on United Airlines, and I would definitely, while I'm in the airport, I want to point out that was involved in the commission of a crime. Seize that. sees
also,
that.
what level of harassment of individuals will they have? Meaning that is seeing a person with a vape, is that enough probable cause for the police officer to conduct a search?
Yeah.
Obviously a police officer can contact you at any time. So, if you're on the streets and you're walking down the street, even if you don't have a vape in your hands, an officer could still say, "Nice day, isn't it?"
Yeah.
There's no reason why it's called a contact. There's no reason why as a human being, a cop can't just ask you a question. But then, they have to have a certain level of, is it reasonable, articulable suspicion to be able to, I think, detain a person. Probably. And then I believe it's probable cause is what they need to conduct a search, if I recall correctly. If you're an attorney, feel free to call in and clarify, because this is not legal advice. But if you have a vape in your hands, because this is a question that I asked when the city of Keene, New Hampshire, was looking at increasing the vaping age and the nicotine age to 21 from 18, was, well, isn't this going to give you, is it going to be probable cause to see someone looking like they are a young person?
Right.
Is that enough probable cause for a police officer to stop a person and say, I'm going to need to see your ID? Same thing is my question in Massachusetts. Is having a vape is that going to be probable cause for an officer to stop you and say, "Sir, I'm going to need to see your Massachusetts certified receipt to prove that was purchased here in Massachusetts legally"?
Right. I think what you're going to hear is they're going to say, well, we don't have to. I mean, we want to follow the spirit. For God's sakes, Ian, we want to protect the children, but that doesn't mean we're going to go out and become the Gestapo. We're not going to do. See, now these callers are going to think I was talking to them. It's not that we're just going to go crazy and do stuff until they do.
Yeah.
They're going to say they're not, that it's not intended to be anything but, the worst offenders or whatever. But it's going to come down to somebody who is completely innocent of anything else. And Massachusetts is now suing South Florida vaping companies for violating the flavored product ban.
I have a story here from the Miami Herald. Did you want me to share that?
Go ahead.
Young people in Massachusetts might have to look for new retailers if they want to continue purchasing Unicorn Frappe, Rainbow Nuggets, or Gingerbread Dude flavored vaping products sold online by two Florida companies. Though Florida lawmakers have yet to pass an overhaul of regulations on the state's burgeoning vaping industry in light of national public health scrutiny on vaping products, online retailers based in Miami-Dade and Broward counties are facing heat from public officials nearly 1,500 miles away who are taking them to court for products sold in Massachusetts. Massachusetts Attorney General Maura Healey on Monday announced that her office has filed a complaint against 8 online vaping retailers, 2 based in South Florida, saying they illegally sold and delivered flavored tobacco products to Massachusetts residents in violation of a state law passed last month that banned the sale of all flavored tobacco products, including e-cigarettes and e-liquids.
Oh, yes. Every vaping company should have a Department of Compliance which monitors the changing laws in 50 individual states and monitors all the federal regulation that they're threatening to throw at us.
That's what they're suggesting here, right? That's
yes,
the only way that...
Ignorance is no excuse.
Here's what I want to know. And look, if you are an attorney out there and you know a thing or two about civil cases and standing in court, I'm interested to know. I mean, obviously, attorneys general probably know a thing or two about the court system because they're the head cop and lawyer in any given state.
Mm-hmm.
But how is there jurisdiction here exactly? Because Massachusetts is a different state than Florida. How is it that a Massachusetts attorney general is going to have standing to sue a Florida company for sending a product to a person? I mean, she could go after the person who bought the product for a criminal act based on the new laws that they've passed. I mean, if it's already in place, and I don't know at what date those restrictions began, or if they have started yet, if it'll start January 1st, or if it started immediately upon the bill being signed.
I think it went into effect immediately. Yeah, that's my understanding.
I mean, how is that even possible? How can you hold a company liable for actions that they took outside of the jurisdiction that the law covers?
Right. Well, you're supposed to know, Ian. You're supposed to monitor who you're selling to. There might have been children on the other end.
We'll get to the tough talk from the Attorney General coming up in hour 3.
The insanity of the vaping ban. All it's going to do is push this stuff into black markets and make it less safe, and it's not going to affect usage. This is Free Talk Live.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? One? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is, the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com, and it's a place you can send any business, and they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. helpmetakebitcoin.com.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th, visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,485, silver at $17.43, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,297. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, with President Trump's signing of the National Defense Authorization Act on Friday, he created the newest and sixth branch of the military. The first since the last branch, the U.S. Air Force, was formally established in 1947. General John Raymond, the commander of U.S. Space Command and Air Force Space Command, indicated that 16,000 active-duty airmen and civilians currently serving in the Air Force Space Command will be assigned to the just-established Space Force. From there, it will begin to get slowly up and running as its own branch. Without sharing details of the plan, a senior Air Force official said on background, because he was not authorized to speak on the record, there will be 30, 60, and 90-day benchmarks to meet. Where it took 3 years to stand up the Air Force, he said the Space Force hopes to be off and running in 18 months or less. That includes, he added, sending a 4-star officer to represent the service on the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The new command's social media and recruitment efforts were fast up and running. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Prominent human rights activist Tito Magadi was abducted in broad daylight by 5 unknown people in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and is now being detained by police. Activist Post reports that Magadi works as a public affairs officer with the Legal and Human Rights Center. He was abducted on Friday at around 10 o'clock in the morning as he was on his way to purchase a new mobile phone. That's according to a statement by the LHRC. Police denied having any information about Magadi's whereabouts when the LHRC first reported him missing on Friday. Magadi's abduction echoes a chilling trend toward the disappearances of journalists, human rights defenders, and opposition leaders in Tanzania since 2015, when the president, John Magufuli, first took office. The mythical Florida man has gotten a bad rap, with the meme buttressing a stereotypical narrative that gives one pause when looking at news stories from the Sunshine State. But in this case, the Florida man is actually a real-life hero whose actions represent the giving spirit of the holiday season. The Mind Unleashed reports that when U.S. military veteran Michael Esmond got his utility bill for December, he couldn't help but recall how he had once failed to keep his home warm as he struggled with financial difficulty. Since that time, Esmond has seen his fortunes improve as he became the owner of a successful small business called Gulf Breeze Pools and Spas in the Florida city of Gulf Breeze. With his past misfortunes in mind, Esmond felt like paying it forward as he went to pay off his gas bill for December. Esmond contacted his local utility provider and asked if he could pay off the utility bills for those households that were at risk of having their gas and power disconnected. He eventually paid $4,600 worth of debts for 36 families. Rather than receive warnings that their homes will go dark, families will now receive cards from Esmond. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A report released Tuesday by physicists at Stanford University revealed that the entire known universe, from the whole of human civilization to the totality of matter and energy, is actually the fictional setting of a cop show called Hard Case. According to authors of the report, existence as we know it was created solely to provide the framework for the primetime drama that airs weekly in a parallel universe, and that every historical event prior to the show's September 2008 pilot, including the Renaissance, World War II, evolution, the September 11th attacks, and the presidential administrations of Washington through Clinton, never actually happened and are merely part of the elaborate backstory crafted by Hard Case creator and showrunner Dominic Egan.
We used to believe that our universe operated under immutable laws of thermodynamics and gravitational relativity, but now we know everything just comes from the minds of Hard Case's 12 staff writers. Overall, it seems like a very well-written show.
Physicists have theorized that the universe as we know it will cease to exist whenever Hard Case airs its final episode.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, hour number 3. Thanks for joining us. I wanted to tell you about LibertyCon. LibertyCon is a unique Liberty convention, April 3rd to the 5th in Washington, D.C., for people who want to network and listen to lots of speakers. You want to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations. They got a great list of speakers. John Mackey of Whole Foods, Vernon Smith, Nobel Prize-winning economist, Miriam Issa, pop culture expert, political commentator, Nassim Nicholas Taleb, the guy who wrote The Black Swan. He's going to be there too. There's going to be a lot more. Visit libertycon.com for more details on additional speakers and events, and use coupon code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. It's an inexpensive deal anyway, and you get a break on your hotel room, you get a break on registration. Student travel scholarships are available, and discount rooms are available for everyone at the DC Marriott Marquis. Save with early registration at libertycon.com. Use code FTL for a $10 discount. That's libertycon.com. In studio, it's Chris.
And Ian.
And we have been talking about Massachusetts. They're not happy unless they're suing somebody. They're not happy if they're not in the middle of something very important for the children or for narwhals or whatever. They're always suing someone. This time they're suing makers of
flavored vape.
I mean, what I consider will have saved my life. I have no doubt. I would have died so young. And now
yeah, but you don't care about the children. Obviously, the children's lives are more important than yours.
Of course. I see the kids running around my neighborhood, with their jewels.
You don't have a neighborhood.
I know.
You live in the middle of the woods.
I've never seen anyone with a jewel other than an adult.
Yeah. You don't,
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that I knew kids who smoked cigarettes when they were 12 years old, 15 years old.
Now they're using jewels in the bathroom instead of trying to conceal cigarette smoke in the bathroom. It's a lot easier to use a jewel.
And that's fine. And what jewels don't contain are all the carcinogens that cigarettes do. Tobacco does. This is harm reduction, folks. Why aren't we supporting this? If kids are going to do something, I would much rather have them use a jewel than smoke cigarettes.
Well, the state would rather tackle them with a mad cop from behind,
right?
Which is what happened here in Keene, New Hampshire, about a month or so ago, where a young man was in the bathroom at the high school, allegedly using a jewel, and the so-called school resource officer, uniformed cop, went in there and confronted him, allegedly flushed the jewel down a urinal, which you can't do.
I'm trying to imagine that.
And then the young man kind of quietly walked out of the bathroom, and the cop followed him and just slammed him from behind, just a tackle to the ground, where he then cuffed him and charged him with underage possession of tobacco products.
Well, thank goodness. Some other child might have seen him with a jewel in his hand, except he was not visible to anyone who wasn't in that bathroom, and he didn't even have one.
He says he didn't. The sad part of the story, besides what happened, but the other sad part of the story is the young gentleman who I was able to contact and kind of got his side of the story.
Right.
Initially had said he was going to challenge the charges and actually go to court and demand his trial, because even though you're a young person, you still have a right to a trial. Just by the way, in case they don't inform you of that, you still have your right to a trial, and you can have a trial, and you can have it be public if you want to. The juvenile court system, they try to keep people out.
Right.
They are, by default, private hearings. They will not allow the public in, but if the person who's being prosecuted says, let them in, I want people to come see this trial, they have to. Sadly, now supposedly this was already happening. It didn't happen because of the targeting of their son, but they moved to South Carolina. So they went ahead and took a guilty plea just to end the, that's what people want to do. When they get charged with something, they just want to end it. And in this case, the excuse was they were leaving. So sadly, we will not get to see that trial.
Oh, we're disappointed. I did want to see how that one turned out.
I really did, too.
We're going to go to the phones where we've got Harry calling from California. Harry, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Sieg Heil! Sieg!
All right. Pretty lame.
Are Nazis a little more creative?
No, apparently not.
I mean, Nazis aren't often represented on Free Talk Live unless they call in and
the last two nights they've
scream stupidity.
They're not representing themselves well. They're not persuasive. They're not interesting.
Right.
Let's move on. So I have more from this Miami Herald story, Chris, and this is about a Massachusetts attorney general named Maura Healey, who has announced they've filed complaints against 8 online vaping retailers, 2 of them based in South Florida. The attorney general said this, quote, "These companies are in flagrant violation of our new state law that was put into place to protect young people."
Oops, I'm flagrant or fragrant?
Flagrant is what she said. Okay. To protect young people from the serious harms caused by vaping.
Stop. What serious harms?
There's dead people, Chris.
No, there are not. There are people dead who inhaled, heated up vitamin E acetate, something that is never intended to be smoked, but it was found in black market THC vaping pods.
But we don't know what the long-term consequences might be of decades of vaping. We don't have enough time. We don't have enough people. We don't have enough studies. We don't know.
Well, fortunately, the UK has done a wonderful job. Their Department of Health Services in the UK has been researching this stuff for 10 years.
That's not long enough. Shouldn't we stop people from doing things that could possibly be bad at some point in the future?
Please do. Please, I think we should have a ban on walking because people fall every day. People trip over items.
I don't know about you, but I mean, I've heard about this stuff that people drown in all the time. It's called dihydrogen monoxide.
Right.
It's really dangerous.
And if you get it in your lungs, I mean, that can kill you faster than vaping.
And it has killed a lot of children. Probably way more children have died because of inhaling dihydrogen monoxide.
It is. It's an epidemic. With no proof or nothing to back it up, I'm going to do what the government says and just say it's an epidemic. It's an epidemic.
It is. Every year.
I'm going to up it. I'm going to say it's a pandemic. That even sounds scarier.
She goes on. She says, our state has been a leader in fighting this public health crisis, and we will continue to go after companies that ignore our laws and put young people at risk.
Public health crisis. So let's break that sentence down. What crisis? Where are people dying of vaping, nicotine? I don't know that.
It's a crisis because they say so.
In all the samples produced by the CDC, all the submitted samples of lung tissue that they received from all those people that died, that's a tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
They could not find one that did not include vitamin E acetate, which was used only in those black market THC-based vapes. They're making it up, folks. Just making it up. And you're eating it up.
They sure did. People really did eat up the claims that the media was putting out there about these vapes. I mean, the reactions from people to young, not just young people, but anybody who was, like telling their family at Thanksgiving that they'd pull out a vape or something like that, and their family, they would act like, "My God, you're vaping!"
Oh yeah, we got that reaction from my girlfriend's mother.
Yeah,
and she watches the news every day, And I was kind of proud, to bring up the fact that after 35 years as a smoker, I quit.
What did she say to that?
She was glad that I quit,
but
I brought up how I did it only through flavored vapes. That was what made it was different enough from cigarettes that I could actually grasp it without introducing those same old cravings.
They totally bought into the hysteria and continue to do so.
And the government keeps putting it out, so it's going to become harder and harder for common sense. This is Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th, visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, 855 450 free. That's free as in freedom. 855-450-3733. This is Chris. I'm a little tongue-tied. Joining me in studio is Ian, and I am going to make an invitation available to you. Join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians from June 29th until July 5th for Fork Fest 2020 at Rogers Campgrounds in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. Fork Fest happens the week after the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and Fork Fest is decentralized, which means no one is in charge. That also means there's no ticket cost. Just reserve your camping RV site or motel room with Rogers Campground for June 29th until July 5th. What better way to celebrate Independence Day than around other freedom-loving activists in the Shire? You can simply relax and go camping with other liberty lovers, or you can create whatever experience or event you'd like others to have. If you're planning an event for Forkfest, be sure to let others know about it. You can connect with other Forkfesters via the unofficial Telegram chat or the Forkfest forums. Links to those are on the unofficial website, forkfest.party. That's forkfest.party. And
we'll be there.
We will. I'm going to make sure, man, there's a chance I could actually spend a night
whole
up there
night
this year. It would be huge. The joys of running a small business.
Yes.
But we got some changes coming up. So,
changes,
that
yeah.
might actually be possible. Yeah, big changes.
Luckily, you don't run a business in Massachusetts.
God, no kidding.
Because right now, we've been talking about Massachusetts cracking down on their new vape laws that have gone into effect, prohibiting the sale of all kinds of products. You can't do flavored vapes. If you're going to sell a vaporizer, it has to be government permission slipped. You have to have a government license in order to possess a vaporizer. You have to have a vaporizer that was sold to you by a licensed Massachusetts dealer. Otherwise, they could steal your car from you.
There's a limitation on the strength of the e-juice that would go into a vaporizer.
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, it's they measure these things differently, but they've laid down some laws and saying, I use a full flavor, a full strength vape juice. It works for me.
That's based on the milligrams.
Number of milligrams of nicotine per
whatever ounce or
whatever.
something.
The one that I use is illegal in Massachusetts.
How many milligrams do you use?
It's 50 milligrams of nicotine. I'm not sure how that breaks down.
Okay.
But 50,
what's the max down there?
35.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
So nearly cutting it in half.
Well, they're also going after a couple of Florida manufacturers who have sold products allegedly to people in Massachusetts. The Massachusetts Attorney General Maura Healey has named two companies, eJuiceConnect.com LLC, registered in Oakland Park, and I don't know if I should say this on the air, Fuggin.
Fuggin.
I'm pretty sure that's not how they pronounce it. With Vapor Company, which is based in Miami-Dade, has a retail store in Miami Beach. Owners listed for the companies didn't immediately return requests for comment on the litigation Tuesday. Healy's office says the companies do not use a method of mailing, shipping, or delivery of the tobacco products that requires signatures from a person of legal age before the package is released, as is required by state regulations. But how, again, I would like to know, how is it that Massachusetts state regulations can be applied to a company that does not have a nexus in Massachusetts?
Yeah, they go into that in the complaint. And, they have a whole section on jurisdiction and venue. They say because they do business in Massachusetts, meaning they sell to people in Massachusetts, well, then Massachusetts is a suitable venue for this. It's
ridiculous.
Asinine.
Healy's office says Greg Conley, the president of the Pro-Vaping Interest Group American Vaping Association, says that online vaping retailers tend to be focused on national legal requirements when making sales, which, of course, now there's going to be a 21 and up rule. And, quote, it may take several months for them to actually learn that Massachusetts has banned the sale of all flavored vaping products. He says the reality is those companies that are now being sued will stop shipping their products to Massachusetts, but that's certainly not going to put an end to Massachusetts consumers continuing to figure out ways to get the products that they want, he said.
And not to plug New Hampshire too much, but hey, Massachusetts folks, come on up. You're going to experience some kind of long lines. The vape shops in New Hampshire are swamped with people from Massachusetts. Oh, yes.
Where have you heard this? Is this in the news or just you've heard
no,
through the rumor
I have
mill?
Friends that work in the industry, and they're loving it. At first, they thought that Trump was going to put them out of business.
Yeah.
So not yet on that.
But now it's a boom.
Now it's a boom because Massachusetts has taken this completely asinine view of the products.
The idea that vaping bans and regulations will serve only to push consumers to the black market is a common criticism from vaping advocates and some public health experts, especially as the lung injuries that raised alarms across the country over the summer have been more strongly tied to black market products.
Imagine that.
Last week, the CDC released an update on the lung injury outbreak associated with vaping, saying new laboratory data has strongly tied the injuries to vitamin E acetate, an additive found in black market THC products that has been identified in lung fluid samples of vaping injury patients. So once again, not any evidence that these deaths were caused by legal products nor legal nicotine vape products. No evidence, not a shred of it.
And yeah, and if you're sitting there going, well, it still could be out there. Well, no, it hasn't been. The only evidence pointed at black market THC vapes. This is a non-issue. Anybody in their right mind would look, well, show me the evidence. And they would say, there's no evidence.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say that they aren't going to find out that these things have some negative health aspect. I'll acknowledge that.
Sure.
There may, after...
They're probably not good for you.
Right. It's been used for... They've got 10 years history. And even though the UK says it's a 95% reduction in harm, that means there's still 5% compared to cigarettes.
Yeah, I mean, when I've used nicotine vapes, and I have on occasion, I feel like my lungs are a little constricted afterwards. I feel like, I'm more likely to cough. It's still not a totally pleasant experience. It's way more pleasant than smoking a cigarette. Here's what Florida Representative Nick Duran, who's a Miami Democrat, had to say about it. He's filed legislation to regulate the vaping industry in Florida, said that driving people to the black market, it's a concern. But he's heard directly from his constituents that they want lawmakers to take a tough stance against vaping products that are appealing to Florida's youth. So all of that, statistics and evidence and how prohibition doesn't work and we're driving people to the black market, that's a concern, but we need to look tough.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do in politics.
Look tough, we're going to consider you laughing stocks. And in the end, you are really going to kill somebody by pushing them to black markets.
Oh, yeah.
And that blood will be on your hands. But they don't mind. Heck, they'll put kids in war for 20 years. They're okay with that. This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com.
Are you able to set your own schedule, work, play, or sleep whenever you want, 7 days a week? Are you free to date whomever you want, even if you're already married? I'm Caleb Jones, and I've taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Watch our free on-demand replay training with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Do you know the difference between erudite and pedantic? If you do, you're probably pedantic. But seriously, a surprising number of erudite people mispronounce erudite, which has 3 syllables, not 4. Say erudite, not erudite. Because you are judged by how you speak, you want to avoid common misstatements, especially if you're a job seeker. For instance, do you know the difference between imply and infer? Only a speaker can imply. Only a listener can infer. And when you say you'll be out of pocket, do you mean out of touch? Out of pocket means you're on your own dime, not yet reimbursed. And if anyone ever asks, why do you always answer a question with a question? You should reply, do I do that? Just kidding. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's our toll-free number, 855-450-3733. You can also hit us up on Discord. Haven't had a Discord call tonight. I love Discord calls because they sound like you are right here in the studio with us. Just load the Discord app. You can find it in the App Store, the Play Store. Go to what is it? Discord.freetalklive?
Well, you got to get the Discord app. You said you can get that from the Play Store, but there's also the computer version, which you can get over at discord.com. And then if you just go to discord.lrn.fm, once you get your account all set up, it'll just pop you right into the server.
Nice. But I wanted to tell you about Balance of Nature. Good nutrition is key to looking and feeling great. However, eating right all the time can be a challenge. Travel and work schedules can get in the way, or you may not have the desire or time to shop and cook the right foods. Balance of Nature has the solution. With just 3 of the Balance of Nature fruit capsules and 3 of their vegetable capsules, you get 10 servings of fruits and veggies. That's a lot of nutrition. For a limited time, you can get free shipping plus a free set of fruits and veggies. Go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL. That's balanceofnature.com. We've been talking about Massachusetts, who's just to protect the children, they're doing all kinds of stuff. They're going to ban, they've already done it. They've banned flavored e-cigarettes because...
And flavored tobacco.
Yeah.
You can't even get menthol cigarettes there now, from what I understand.
Because of this epidemic of teen tobacco use, which is
tobacco use is actually down significantly, but vaping is, there's a lot of teens that use vapes.
Duran said high school-aged children are becoming addicted to tobacco products.
This is the Florida state representative.
At rates he described as alarming. Now, it is interesting that nicotine doesn't occur. It occurs several places in nature.
Oh, yeah.
The most predominant plant is the tobacco plant.
Mm-hmm.
But you can get nicotine from a tomato.
That's what I've heard.
You can get nicotine from spicy chili peppers. These are things that have that. So I guess, and when it's refined and the nicotine is isolated and packaged into a product like a Juul or an e-liquid, for use in vaping, I guess you could still say that's a tobacco product. But it doesn't come with any of the baggage that burning and inhaling tobacco comes with.
Yes, but politicians need to act like they are against these things in order to make their constituents think they're doing something to help children. And so the guy you mentioned, Nick Duran, the Miami Democrat who's filed legislation, he is saying our first and most important concern is that we're protecting children and young adults. He said he plans to file legislation in 2020 that would tax vaping products the same way cigarettes are taxed. Now, that's going to protect the kids.
Yes, because kids hate to pay tax. Let's see. When I was a kid and I had friends who were experimenting with cigarettes, what did they do? Let me think. They stole them from their parents.
Yeah.
That's how most of them got
I knew a kid who was picking up the butts off the streets.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, honestly, my first cigarette, I probably was 6, 7, 8 years old. But
this is about how old he was, yeah.
He was out of my friend's grandma's ashtray, found a butt, and we lit that sucker up. And
did you feel really cool?
I did for all of a half second before I decided I did not want to smoke cigarettes. I didn't learn how to smoke cigarettes really well until I joined the Army. We're going to the phones where we got Jerry in West Virginia. Jerry, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hi, fellas.
Hey.
I'm going to let you guys fight the fight on the legalities of vaping. But I'd like to tell you what happened to me about 4 years ago, maybe 5. When vaping first came out and became really popular, I spent quite a bit of money on the best vaping devices. I didn't buy cheap stuff. It was, I mean, one of them was like $100.
Okay.
But I only had them for like maybe 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks tops when I started getting really bad sores in my mouth. Now, you know, I've been a smoker for 50 years, and all of a sudden I'm getting these horribly painful sores in my mouth. So I got online, and there was a couple of vaping forums back then. Okay. And so many people had the same problem that I did, and we all tried to decide over the next couple of weeks that I was involved with it, what was causing this. And the only thing we could come up with was possibly the glycol, because no human being in history, as far as we knew, had ever inhaled hot glycol constantly throughout the day, day after day.
Hey, Jerry.
And
is it possible that technology has improved since? Because you've admittedly said this was several years ago.
Right. Well, the other thing was there was this rumor, and possibly it was true, that the problem was occurring from Chinese liquids, juices. And so we made real sure that our liquids were coming from the U.S. As a matter of fact, we had a local laboratory right here in our town that was packaging these liquids. But for whatever reason, now here's the interesting thing. Within 5 days, count them, 5 days, all the sores disappeared from my mouth once I went back to smoking cigarettes.
Interesting.
Wow. So, and I have no allergies of any kind whatsoever. So we know it wasn't that.
It sounds like it was definitely adulterated, because the formula. So going back in the early days of vaping, I bought the first model. It was Chinese made, the first e-cigarette that was available in the United States. Man, I was following that thing. I had spreadsheets working up how much this thing would save me over regular cigarettes, and I was committed. And I had it within the first month. I had them, and it just wasn't good. I had like a real. Like I was breathing water and things. It just wasn't pleasant at all. And that kept me off of vaping for years because of those early poor experiences. But now,
well, I didn't have any problem with the inhalation or the taste or anything else. Matter of fact, I was hoping to stay with it, and I made sure my juices were made in the USA, and I was using a good device. For whatever reason, me and apparently thousands of others were experiencing the same problem. So I don't know what happened.
Well, Jerry,
so good luck with your fight.
I appreciate it, and thanks for the call.
Sure thing.
That is, it's not uncommon for early generations of devices to have issues. All sorts of technology has issues, and I'm so glad that I gave vaping another chance, that I didn't let the bad experiences I had, not unlike Jerry from, almost a decade ago, it really threw me off.
Got better. Got a lot better after 10 years, huh?
Absolutely. We're going to go to the phones where we've got Elmer in Mississippi. Elmer, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Why knowing why you have all the... Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you.
I can hear
you.
I
ain't knowing why you got all them Nazis calling and they wanting to hail a dead man. We all need to be, they need especially to be hailing the dear leader Trump. He has made America great again, and he is perfect in every way. All them fake news and whatnot ain't got nothing on him.
He's perfect.
He is the dear leader 100%. I promise you he'll be in there another 4 years.
Dear leader. Hey.
Best call of the night.
Best call of the night. Thanks a lot, Elmer.
Thanks for the call.
So wait.
I felt like there was a tongue in that cheek.
I think there might have been.
Dear leader.
Oh, boy. 855 450 free. We got another segment coming up, and there is still time for you, unless you're a Nazi. No, even if you are a Nazi, we'll make time for you. It's Free Talk Live.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with Reputation Defender. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with Reputation Defender. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771. For your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with Reputation Defender. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Free Talk Live.
I look up on internets and tried to research some stuff that everybody's been talking about. And, it's all true.
What?
It's true.
What is?
Everything that's going on in this country.
The heck are you talking
Everything
about?
that you're talking about, I'm talking about 9/11.
We don't talk about that.
Everything.
Yeah, you're being incredibly vague.
I know what's going on. I mean, people get in an airplane and they talk about, they were talking on this plane and they were doing this from that to this and that.
I have no idea
what
you're
talking about. Didn't work back then.
What is this and that? You need to be a lot less vague because I don't know what you're talking about.
Everything, Dale. Everything is true.
Everything is true. Okay, that's going on in this country.
Yes, what I'm trying to tell. Everything is true, but they will not listen.
Everything.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom, 855-450-3733. There's time for you to get your call in, even though we've got a couple lined up. We got some time left. I want to hear what's on your mind. In studio, it's Chris.
And Ian.
And we're going to go directly to Discord.
We were going to, but she dropped out.
Oh,
sadly.
Man, dang it.
We had a young lady who works at a vape shop on hold. And,
I'm sorry I missed that one. Abby, if you are listening still, please give us a call on Discord. I always look forward to Discord calls.
They sound great.
They do, and I never have trouble understanding what people are hearing. We got some other people calling in, but we've been talking about vaping, and this all started with a story out of, I don't know if you want to say Massachusetts or Florida, but the Massachusetts Attorney General suing 8 e-cigarette companies in Florida, based in Florida.
Two of them, I believe, were in Florida.
Oh, I'm sorry.
At least according to the article.
But even though they don't really have headquarters or a nexus, as you would say in the business world, in Massachusetts, they say that, you know what, you sell to people here, therefore you're under my jurisdiction.
I don't buy it.
My authority. Yeah, it's asinine, and I mean.
But then again, if they can force these companies, which may not be mega companies, right? Like this isn't Philip Morris.
Right.
They're going after. They're going after some guy who named his company FUGGIN Vape or something like that. Like it doesn't sound like a real big player,
right?
In anything. These are probably family-owned businesses, likely in Florida. I mean, they may have had some level of success, but that doesn't mean they can all of a sudden afford $100,000 in attorney's fees.
Right.
That can bankrupt somebody if you're making, you're doing all right, you're making money, you're paying your employees, but you just barely kind of keeping the lights on. And I don't know how well-heeled these companies are, but presuming they're just small businesses and relatively successful ones, nobody who's a small business person wants to lay out $50,000 for attorney's fees. You don't budget for that kind of thing generally.
No, you don't, and it only takes one of these suits by some state because they've seen that Massachusetts did it and they reached some settlement with maybe one of these companies. Right. That's the whole thing. This is where I wish I could speak to each owner of each of these companies and say, you got to stand your ground, man.
Don't settle, you mean?
Don't settle. Don't buckle. I mean, we'll be behind you.
Hopefully the Vape Association can kick in some money here because they do have a national association. They mentioned them in the story, and presumably they can afford some attorneys because they get donations or whatever for this purpose, because other vape companies ought to get behind these guys. That's one of the problems with competition. Competition's a good thing, but sometimes it can leave somebody out in the cold in certain circumstances because the other guys are like, well, I'm glad they're not suing me, and then they don't get behind the person who they are suing and try to help that guy stay in business, because if these companies in Florida can win against the state of Massachusetts, even if it's as simple as saying, case dismissed or motion to dismiss and then having the judge toss the case out for lack of jurisdiction or lack of standing, that's a win. And then that means that Massachusetts would be less likely to take those same moves with other companies, which if Massachusetts, on the other hand, manages to get settlements out of these guys, then they're just going to nonstop go after everybody.
Yeah, and I really want to point out the importance of trade organizations. So these are organizations that are, based around an industry, and they lobby. I know that's a horrible word. They lobby for more favorable laws for their industry. But that's really, really, really important when they face challenges. The only thing that trade organizations traditionally defend their clients, people that maybe subscribe to that association or whatever it happens to be, they're going to lobby on behalf of, doing more business. They're going to try to improve the public view of your product. And they're going to defend you against bad government stuff. Governments just love to come up with things that punish small businesses. And this is like literally one of the only things that small businesses can do is to support and, become a member of these types of trade organizations. Now, we're looking at a completely different view for our store, which we are sadly closing at the end of this month. And it's been a 4-year-long experiment, and we're going in a completely different direction. But one of the things that really encourages me about this direction is they have a very strong trade organization. So
the convenience stores, you mean?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And when this whole vaping stuff, when Trump was spouting off about protecting the kids, the trade organization was there at the table when they had a meeting at the White House with Trump to say, listen, this is going to be the result. This is how many jobs you are going to wipe out. You are going to decimate real people's lives economically by enacting this sort of legislation, and I'm sure that the vaping industry was doing the exact same thing, and convenience stores weren't the only ones doing it. But that's the importance of these things. It's not using government. It's using your fellow business owners and your amassed power. That's an important thing. I don't think people realize how much strength they have if they choose to use it.
Yep, it's true. Was there more?
No, that was the end of my tirade.
Oh, okay.
But so I don't know, where does she go from here? I mean, she's
who?
She's
the Attorney General.
The Attorney General. I mean, I've been kind of glancing at this stuff.
Well, what they would do is they would likely start placing orders. They would have an investigator from the AG's office placing orders from various different vape manufacturers all across the country, and just start marking down the names of who ships to Massachusetts, and then start filing more and more lawsuits.
Maybe that's it. Maybe there's probably a lot of unemployed attorneys in Massachusetts. It's a jobs program, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just being facetious here. But the idea that states attorney generals don't have anything better. Do they have any unserved warrants? I'm just thinking, spitballing here, that maybe they have some rape kits that haven't been
it's a political
tested.
job. Attorney general, it's not an elected position in a lot of cases. It's politically appointed. And so
some states.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen one that's elected, but maybe they are in some states. Certainly, they're not here. They're appointed in New Hampshire, and that's sometimes New England states kind of have similar systems. So I'm guessing it's an appointed position. But either way, even if it's not appointed, it's still a political position, because if it's elected, it's certainly political, and if it's appointed, it's political as well. They've got to appease a certain constituency, whether that constituency is the people who vote or the politicians in office.
Got them their job in the first place.
They've got to pander. And so this is how they do it. This is, look, we care about kids.
Absolutely.
You care about kids, don't you?
No.
Well, if you care about kids, you should support what we're doing, because if you don't support what we're doing, you obviously don't care about kids.
Here's how I care about kids. I want to make sure kids have more rights than I do when they grow up. I want them to be more free than I am when they get of age. I want them to have a better world. I want them to have more economic freedom than I do. And I'm not saying, I have it horribly. I am saying that they don't deserve to live. When I care about kids, I want them not to deal with the yoke of government around their neck like I have to. That's how I care about kids. It's not about protecting them from a jewel. That's
what I want to know is, and since you're getting into the convenience store business, what would happen? I mean, could a state say, no thanks, federal government, we're going to keep it at age 18 as far as buying vape and nicotine products? Like, couldn't there be a nullification or a pushback of some sort on this?
I'm sure the 10th Amendment Center would have plenty to say about that. But my guess would be is you lack any constitutional right to impose such a thing on the people.
You mean the federal government?
The federal government. Yes, they don't. They don't.
They would just need to be challenged. Somebody would need to stand up to them.
Somebody needs to challenge
But
them.
who would stand up to them? Because that means they're against children if they stand up to these.
God forbid.
Even though 18-year-olds aren't children.
No, I don't think 18-year-olds. And now I'm not going to say that 20-year-olds are children because you raised that age to 18. It's asinine. But that's all the time we have for you tonight. But don't worry, because we'll be here again tomorrow night. Not me, but somebody will be here.
Yep. See you
because
then.
that's what we do here on Free Talk Live.
freetalklive.com.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I've always been high energy, just going. And I turned 40 last November, and I was tired all the time. Now, taking the Balance of Nature, I just feel good. I have energy when I get home to still wrestle with my kids and do the honeydews at home. It's nice. I can tell that it just restored me to feeling normal, which is great.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we'll take off an additional $25 on your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. mymagicmud.com, FTL20.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,485, silver at $17.43, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,297. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, with President Trump's signing of the National Defense Authorization Act on Friday, he created the newest and sixth branch of the military. The first since the last branch, the U.S. Air Force, was formally established in 1947. General John Raymond, the commander of U.S. Space Command and Air Force Space Command, indicated that 16,000 active-duty airmen and civilians currently serving in the Air Force Space Command will be assigned to the just-established Space Force. From there, it will begin to get slowly up and running as its own branch. With Without sharing details of the plan, a senior Air Force official said on background, because he was not authorized to speak on the record, there will be 30, 60, and 90-day benchmarks to meet. Where it took 3 years to stand up the Air Force, he said the Space Force hopes to be off and running in 18 months or less. That includes, he added, sending a 4-star officer to represent the service on the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The new command's social media and recruitment efforts were fast up and running. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Prominent human rights activist Tito Magadi was abducted in broad daylight by 5 unknown people in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and is now being detained by police. Activist Post reports that Magadi works as a public affairs officer with the Legal and Human Rights Center. He was abducted on Friday at around 10 o'clock in the morning as he was on his way to purchase a new mobile phone. That's according to a statement by the LHRC. Police denied having any information about Magadi's whereabouts when the LHRC first reported him missing on Friday. Magadi's abduction echoes a chilling trend toward the disappearances of journalists, human rights defenders, and opposition leaders in Tanzania since 2015, when the president, John Magufuli, first took office. The mythical Florida man has gotten a bad rap, with the meme buttressing a stereotypical narrative that gives one pause when looking at news stories from the Sunshine State. But in this case, the Florida man is actually a real-life hero whose actions represent the giving spirit of the holiday season. The Mind Unleashed reports that when U.S. military veteran Michael Esmond got his utility bill for December, he couldn't help but recall how he had once failed to keep his home warm as he struggled with financial difficulty. Since that time, Esmond has seen his fortunes improve as he became the owner of a successful small business called Gulf Breeze Pools and Spas in the Florida city of Gulf Breeze. With his past misfortunes in mind, Esmond felt like paying it forward as he went to pay off his gas bill for December. Esmond contacted his local utility provider and asked if he could pay off the utility bills for those households that were at risk of having their gas and power disconnected. He eventually paid $4,600 worth of debts for 36 families. Rather than receive warnings that their homes will go dark, families will now receive cards from Esmond. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A report published this week found that a growing number of Americans are being forced to make ends meet by collaborating on songs with Miami-based rapper Pitbull. Citing rising income inequality and a turbulent job market, the report found many U.S. citizens moonlighting as recording artists, mixing drum beats, and guest starring on tracks for the Latin American producer.
It's exhausting, between being part of Pitbull's entourage anytime he's on a club tour and mixing new hooks for him every few nights. I barely see my wife anymore. It's not like I want to do another remix with Avicii, but we really need the money. Okay, sure. I need to get back to work.
In a groundbreaking find, paleontologists this week unearthed the earliest known dinosaur stickers on record. Reportedly discovered in a box labeled Greg's Room, the excavated remains of the reptile adhesives include such stunning specimens as a Triceratops featuring the words Dinos Rock, an Apatosaurus sticker, and the extremely rare puffy kind.
This is the Onion News Network.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Today, let us make them remember. We are not afraid!
Undefeated